Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Shane Mosley Jr. and Gabriel Rosado got it on. Shane Mosley Jr. came out victorious. A couple of things I want to point out. With Gabriel Rosado, his highlight win was him defeating the bully with that one shot, right hand knockout, catching the bully, rushing in. That's the highlight of Gabriel Rosado's career, and he'll never ever have another highlight like that. Gabriel Rosado is known as a blood and guts warrior, a guy who'll leave it all on the table. And if you're not familiar with who Gabriel Rosado is, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with who Nick Diaz and Nate Diaz is of the MMA world. If Nick and Nate Diaz, if there was any fighter that I could liken to Nick and Nate Diaz, guys who go in to fight, guys who bleed, guys who lose, guys who win, guys who entertain, but guys who just come to go to war. That would be Gabriel Rosado in a nutshell. He's going to bleed, he's going to fight, he may lose, he may win, but you're going to get entertained. And he tried his best to do that with Shane Mosley Jr. But I'm going to tell you, Shane Mosley Jr. last fight, he lost it quickly. But Shane Mosley showed in this fight that he has levels to his game. Mosley was punching in bunches. He looked beautiful with his combinations. Going to the body, going to the head, jabbing, hooking, uppercut, all with the left hand. Coming back with the right hand, going to the body, going to the top, stepping around. He wasn't letting Gabriel Rosado get off that big right hand. Gabriel Rosado did land it a couple times. But Shane Mosley Jr.'s coach, Bone Adams, was very observant, very smart, and very intelligent with the advice he was giving Mosley in between rounds. And after the first round, which started off a little slow, second, third round, Mosley just started taking off. And he hurt Gabriel Rosado very badly 2 times in that fight. Probably other times, but Gabriel Rosado, he just has a good poker face. You don't know when you hurt him. But he got hurt, and he got hurt bad. An uppercut, then a shot to the body. Shane Mosley doubled up on the hook. The first hook was just to open him up. The second one was to damage him, caught him in the solar plexus, and Gabe just kind of caved in. And Mosley was changing angles, changing speeds. He was just doing things that Gabriel Rosado, I think, may have underestimated. I think even Freddie Roach underestimated because, hey, who's going to take a junior serious? It's not Shane Mosley, he's Shane Mosley Jr. But Shane Mosley Jr., by this fight, showed that he's a force to be reckoned with. Now, I will say this. He was able to show different levels because of the opponent he had in front of him. Gabriel Rosado has a tendency to kind of stay in front of you, get anxious, and rush you trying to land a big shot while taking artillery. So we got to be careful just saying Shane Mosley has arrived. But what I will tell you is he looked spectacular, man. And he didn't get tired. That was very impressive. And he showed that he has power. For him to hurt Gabriel Rosado like that, not just to beat him up, but to hurt him and make Gabriel Rosado think twice about rushing in, that means Shane Mosley Jr. has some pop. He got something special about his hands. But Rosado just couldn't solve the puzzle. He wanted Shane Mosley Jr. to fight stupid and basically just stand in front of him and brawl. Also, the San Antonio crowd, which is predominantly Mexicans, that's kind of what they wanted to see, a Mexican-style fight where guys just come in there, man, like rock'em sock'em robots and just knock each other's heads off. Rosado was ready for that. The crowd was ready for that. Mosley was not ready for that and did not give the crowd or Rosado the fight they wanted. Instead, he fought intelligently, got across the finish line, and picked up some WBA, something Intercontinental Championship, some bullshit belt that Gabe Rosado was wearing. I mean, it really means nothing at all, but he did pick up a little hardware, okay? But that alone is going to be a good bargaining piece for him to go up and fight some of these big fighters between 160 and 168. And they're going to jump at the opportunity to get a shot at Shane Mosley Jr. because, one, he does have a belt. He beat Gabe Rosado, and he has that Mosley's last name. So it's going to look good on their resume. But they better not underestimate him because Shane Mosley Jr. can fight. And he knows, depending on his next opponent, he can't afford to take another L because that means that he's a good fighter, but he's not great if he can't get in there and defeat some of the elite. And that's what he's up against. But when you think about Gabe Rosado, man, can't speak down on him, can't be negative about him. Gabe Rosado came, he tried, even to the end. I just think Gabe Rosado should have been a bit more dirty. And when I mean dirty, I don't mean flagrant, losing the point, but, rough him up, hit him behind the head a couple times, twist his arm, grab him by the neck, shove him into the ropes, like make the referee do his job. And Gabe Rosado didn't do that. A couple of times he tried, he didn't look like he was really comfortable doing it. Almost like he watched Shane Mosley Jr. growing up as a kid and now he's in the ring with him and he doesn't want to hurt him or something. But Shane Mosley Jr. didn't take that approach like, oh, this is my big uncle, I'm going to be nice. No, he's like, he's someone here trying to take food out of my mouth to my kid's mouth, and I'm not having that. But Gabe Rosado, no matter what he does next, he's always going to be kind of like the Glenn Johnson of the light heavyweight division. One of those warriors that'll go anywhere, fight anyone. Don't let the losses on the record fool you, like Rosado and Glenn Johnson, a whole lot of losses, but they're going to come in there and they're going to fight you. They're going to fight hard, and they're going to win, and they're going to lose some, but you better believe you're going to know you were in a fight, and Shane Mosley Jr. did know he was in a fight, although he had a 7-inch reach advantage, which I think helped him out a lot. But Rosado, the Glenn Johnsons, you got to respect those guys. Don't be surprised if Rosado comes back and get another opportunity because of what he brings to the table, and he just happens to win another fight against a big name. And that's how it goes. But this guy, Bone Adams, that Shane Mosley Jr. has in his corner, is absolutely amazing in my opinion. Absolutely amazing. And just to see what Shane Mosley was able to do. Now, when he fought Quigley, he looked like he was getting tired, but Quigley's a non-stop fighter. He goes every second of every round. Gabe Rosado isn't quite like that, and I think that's what made the difference in that fight when Shane Mosley Jr. had a shot at that title eliminator, which Quigley went up there and got clipped badly by Andre. But that should have been Shane Mosley Jr. fighting. But Shane Mosley Jr. is going to have to figure it out, because if he gets in there with another one of those busy fighters who can box and punch and don't get tired, he's going to have his hands full. So he's going to have to figure out a way to work on his engine, man, and make sure he can keep his work rate up to 60 to 80 punches a round over 12 rounds. Because if he can't do that, he's not going to beat the elite. And it is what it is. But absolutely amazing, man. Mosley and Rosado served as a chief support of a 4-fight card for DAZN. Ryan Garcia's up next. So I'm going to go check that out. But I just wanted to put that out to you. Shane Mosley Jr. looked absolutely amazing. And I wasn't even expecting that. I didn't know he could fight like that. Shane Mosley Jr. can fight. But we'll see what happens with Gabe Rosado next. I don't think it's the end of the road for him, but there's, I'll put it to you this way. It's not the end of the road, but he doesn't have another 20, 25 miles to travel. He's probably more like, 1 to 2 miles left on the path he's traveling down. And there's going to be one exit off the end of that road, and that's going to be to retirement and maybe acting or whatever else he wants to do. So fortunately for Gabe Rosado, he has a career outside of boxing, but he just needs to go ahead and if he can't pull something off in the next 1 or 2 fights, call it quits, because there's only so many opportunities you're going to get. You have to win. Boxing is about resumes. You got to win, and it is what it is. So that being said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. More to come before Sunday night. And also, shout out to all the veterans. You guys keep safe. Thanks for the support. And always, I'm in the breeze.